Okay, it's time to discuss practice for lesson 8. Now, at this stage, you probably might want to manipulate the practice routine at some point. You don't have to stick with the same thing all of the way through. You need to find what it is that's working for you. I'm giving you a suggested path, but you might need to manipulate it during your time, during the next week or two of your practice. You might find that there are things that you're real confident with or things that you want to skip over. It doesn't matter. It's up to you now to edit the routine so it fits you best. This is my suggestion. 3 minutes exploring those new chords. So just literally playing through that little pattern I told you about, going G, C, D, A, and E minor. Playing through them, trying to get the chords sounding real sweet. After a few days, you might be like, no, I'm cool with this. I want to work on them as 1 minute changes or perfect fast changes, or working on just particular ones that you need for a song. If you're working on Wonderwall, or you're working on Wish You Were Here, or whatever the songs are that you choose to practice. Your E minor pentatonic practice is going to be 2 minutes, starting without the metronome and without worrying about string muting, just playing it up and down. Once you feel kind of comfy with that, you might want to have a go at getting the metronome out and trying to do it with the metronome. Goal tempo is 1 note per click at 80 beats per minute. That would be the goal. What I found was that I ended up alternating between practicing it with a metronome and then practicing it while I'm thinking about the muting. So having a conscious go at doing the string muting just to kind of test it out. I was trying to figure out if it was the kind of thing I could share with you or not when I was practicing it, but that might be a helpful way of doing it. I think practicing it with the metronome and thinking about the string muting is probably going to be too difficult. That is going to be hard, so I wouldn't go there. Alternate between playing with the metronome and string muting if you need to, or ignore those things and just practice the scale. A little bit, it depends on you. I would then have a go at doing 1 minute changes between the big G and a regular D chord. Okay, this particular chord change happens a lot, so just working on that, trying to get that chord change happening between the big G, the 4-finger G, and a regular D chord, using that 3rd finger as an anchor. That's a really good thing to practice. You're going to find that a useful one. I would then start to work on perfect fast changes of either the same thing or a different chord, maybe C to the new G or A minor to the new G. A little bit, again, be led by the song choices. Okay, not every chord change is something that you need to work on. You want to target the ones that you're finding difficult within the songs that you want to play. I really think it's best to be led by the songs that you want to play rather than just trying to nail down every chord change, because especially when we start getting lots of chord changes, it just becomes impractical. I would then recommend 3 minutes of working on the new 8th note all down strumming pattern and working on the accents. So you could just work on with 1 chord and just work on that at the beginning, 1 chord, trying to get used to doing the accent passage, trying to hit mainly the thicker strings and then pushing through on the 2 and the 4. If you want to, you can practice it with a metronome. Probably the first few times I don't recommend that you use a metronome. Just get used to doing it first of all, then work on playing it with the metronome. If you feel like it later, you could start changing chords while keeping the rhythm consistent. And at that point, you might start wanting to consider concentrating on where the pick is landing on the strings and being able to play just from the thicker string for the E and the G, just on the 5th string for the A and the C type chords, and then just the thinnest few strings, the thinnest 4 strings for your D chord. So changing your emphasis within the practice is happening now. Okay, again, grade 1 we just had, here's a set thing, practice this. Now we're going like, well, here's the thing, you're probably going to go through a few stages within it. So you might find that you need a little bit more practice each lesson now. Okay, it's not going to be as quick to progress. There's a bit more stuff going on in each lesson to work on, things to think about. Particularly with this kind of stuff like strumming, you're probably going to be working on it for quite some time. But yeah, just give it a little bit, allow yourself to grow with it and change things within the practice routine as you need to. Even keeping it just as strumming practice, but changing what you're emphasizing within that practice, what you're thinking about. You're then going to have 3 minutes of riff fun, which is going to be Wish You Were Here. It's an amazing, fun tune to play, this one. You're going to love it. So I definitely recommend you having a go at Wish You Were Here. You could substitute for another riff if you want, or if you really don't like Pink Floyd, then you could just leave it out. But man, it's an all-time classic guitar song that you should learn how to play, and it's so much fun. You're not aiming to get it perfect. You're just aiming to have some fun and have a go at playing that song. So again, with the riff stuff, it's about it being fun, not about it having to be a perfect thing. I'm then allowing 2 minutes for your note study. Okay, so you might be doing that for a little while, and then after some 3-4 sessions, you're like, I know those notes, I'm cool. Then you want to change that couple of minutes to more practice on something else, more practice on Wish You Were Here, more practice on the scales, more practice on the rhythm, what it is that you need to be working on. That's a real key thing here. We're then going to have song work is going to break into 2 sections. We're going to have 10 minutes on songs using those new chords. So loads of different songs that you could choose from here. I just have to check my little list here. What do we have? Every Rose Has Its Thorn. Brown Eyed Girl is a really good one to work on for using the stuck 3 and 4 changes. You've got Wonderwall. You probably want to go for a simplified version of Wonderwall. Don't be trying to do all of the fancy strumming if you're a beginner. I think that'll be a little bit too hard. Free Fallen by Tom Petty is a nice one. It's not strictly the stuck 3/4, but it's using the G chord from it and the A sus4. So it's a nice one. Shallow, the Lady Gaga thing, beautiful song. Definitely don't diss it, Lady Gaga. It's a beautiful song. She's a super talented artist, so massive respect for her, and it's a beautiful song as well. Patience by Guns N' Roses is another one that you might want to consider. There are loads. Again, I will have talked about this in the song lesson. So pick some songs from that and have a bit of a go. But I also recommend that you spend 5 minutes working on repertoire revision. So songs that you've been playing for a little while that you want to keep a hand in. You don't want to just jump on these new things and then forget all of the stuff that you've been working on before. So 5 minutes practice, just pick either one song and work on that, or maybe 2 songs, maybe a little bit of a pick around a few. Doesn't really matter, as long as you're revising the songs that you've been working on before. Now that's a full 30 minutes practice now, which is quite a lot. And if you struggle with that, you might need to break it into 2 15-minute sections. What you don't want to do is always avoid a particular thing. So don't just leave off the song practice all the time and do the rest if you're running out of time. Try and balance it so you're practicing all of that stuff consistently. But if you need to break it up over a couple of practice sessions, that's fine. I think 30 minutes should be achievable for most of you. 15 minutes of it is fun song practice. So I'm hoping you're enjoying it, because it's really important that you enjoy this stuff. I'm hoping that the practicing the other stuff is, even if it feels a little bit boring on doing these chord changes or scales, that you understand why it's going to help you enjoy the songs so much more. That should be the thing that is like, oh yeah, this scale's a little bit boring, but I know it's really going to help me practice Wish You Were Here, so it's kind of worth it. So try and make sure you understand why it is that you're practicing different things. Now, the big question that everyone wants to know, how do I know when I'm ready to move on? Now, the stuck 3/4 chords, you just have to have explored them, memorized them, of course, and explored them. You don't, it depends on what it is that you want to play. You should be able to play them now. You're not a complete beginner, so you should be able to play those chords and have memorized them. That would be the thing there. But there's no specific 1 minute changesy kind of thing going on with any of the chords at this point. Okay, there's no 1 minute changes limit, even from the G to the D. It's all just about songs. So you want to be working on things until you can play the songs reasonably well. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect, it just needs to be reasonable. So let that guide you. I would recommend with the strumming that you can do it consistently along at 80 beats per minute with the metronome. That's where I would get you through without the chord changes. So just being able to do it on one chord with the metronome at 80 beats a minute and get the accent happening on beat 2 and 4, and be confident that you're feeling it okay, that it doesn't feel like stiff and clunky. If it's feeling stiff and not like it's not working, you want to do a little bit more practice and really working on trying to keep it nice and relaxed. That's going to be the key thing there. The riff, there's no set thing. Just practice the riff, have some fun with it. It gets to where it gets to. Open string study. I want you to know the names of the notes in the open position. So practice it for as long as you need to be able to figure out or learn or know straight away, depending on where you're at, know the notes in the open position. That's really, really important. The song work, again, you want to have played some of the songs and got a couple of them up to being able to play along with the app if you're using the app, or just be able to play them and have some fun with them. That's, the song part is just about having some fun with it, really. That's it. But I want you to pick at least one song using those new chords and have done a little bit of work on it. There's this underlying thing here of the development of this muscle. In the next lesson, we're going to have a go at playing the F chord, which is a physically difficult, demanding chord. So the more work that you can do and the longer you spend on these exercises, practicing these chords where you have to do a bit of pressing at the back, the stronger that muscle will be and the more chance you've got of battling through your F chord. Because it's, you know, it is a physically challenging chord, that one, and we're going to be working on it for quite a few lessons, not just one. So it's not like I'm going to be expecting you to nail your F chord down next lesson, but that's where we're going with this. So you want to be making sure that that muscle gets a bit strong. So when you put, you know, when you're practicing your songs, sometimes you might be like, oh man, this is getting really hard. See if you can push through a little bit longer when it's starting to hurt a little bit. Just like you would if you're trying to do strength development or weights or whatever. You go through that bit where it's like, oh man, this is really hard, I'm going to keep trying, but then stop. Don't hurt yourself. Pain is bad. So if you're hurting, stop. There's no question. If it hurts, stop straight away. But you want it to be kind of, you know, pushing it a little bit, trying to get it so it's a little bit sore, and you know that you're developing your strength there in between the thumb and the first finger for your grip, which you're going to require for later on. So look, good luck. I hope you enjoy this week's or this lesson's practice. It should be probably more than a week. For most people, this is going to be a couple of weeks, maybe even 3 weeks, but at least a couple of weeks practicing this stuff. And I'll see you for plenty more very soon. If you're feeling like, oh man, this is too difficult, go and check out the Knit Sudge lessons, because he really struggled with this stuff too. And hopefully you'll find that a little bit reassuring. See you for more very soon. You take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.